Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast.
Welcome back to the show.
All right, we're back.
Water just tastes so much better when it comes out of an Erewhon bottle.
That's basically holy
Didn't
water.
you fill that bottle up with fridge water right before we started?
It's like a Casa
That's
Azul.
not the point, Braden, okay?
Like our Casa Azul bottle with whatever, Jose Cuervo in it.
Is it actually?
Oh, no.
No, yeah.
Not at
Keep
all.
it down.
Not at all.
That bottle is great.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back. This is episode 5 now.
Yep.
When you hear it, it'll be episode 5.
Yep.
We're really excited. We just want to say thank you for the support. I think we literally just passed 28 countries that are listening to the 505 podcast. Small
crazy.
golf clap.
That's actually crazy.
No, it's unbelievable, and the community is growing. We're coming up with things to get everybody connected that'll be ready in the next next few months. We're gonna get the whole pod squad will be unified somehow.
Ooh, the pod squad for Rock Talk,
For
huh?
Rock Talk, exactly.
There it is.
Dude.
Yeah, so it's gonna be great.
This is Rock Talk.
This
by the
is
way.
Rock
People
Talk.
forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 rocks talking.
The origin of the rock comment, I
actually don't know what it is.
started in during the pandemic. I started calling Adam Little Rock,
Sure.
because I just thought it was funny. And then Little Rock, I just started calling every little thing like rocks. Like my phone, I'm like, can you toss me the rock?
Right.
You know, and it originated, I think, from like calling a football the rock.
The Rock, yeah. So,
Yeah.
dude, when I'm on the shoot, the AD passes the camera to a cam op, like the big red Gemini. He's like, "Hey, man, can you pass me that rock?" And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, "Are they one of us?"
They knew about the rock.
That's-
I was
talk?
like, "No, I think they just said like, pass me the rock," like
the football type.
colloquially, because they never said anything else was the Rock or say that again. But for a second, this was the first day. I was like, "Oh my god, like
That's amazing.
we have a special thing. We're like Freemasons."
My
dude.
favorite thing that Braden does is he's able to like call anything by the same name. Like he'll call anything the
And you'll
Rock.
know what it is for some
Exactly.
reason.
Or like I feel like I switch around words of things, you know, where just like randomly call things like by what it's not, and you guys usually know what it is.
Braden also buys cheese every time he goes to the grocery store, and he doesn't keep track of how much cheese he has in his fridge. So like once he was going through his thing, and he was like, "Why do I have 17 packets of fucking cheddar cheese?"
I have ADHD and I'm trying to be an adult. Okay?
We all do. We once said that our mission statement's basically like 3 guys with ADHD that throw out a lot of ideas and sometimes have enough caffeine to like actually pull off one of them.
And then it just is crazy because
I'm
we're
like,
just like,
guys, if we focus up for 1 hour, we might actually be able to do one of these ideas. Usually it's just us like throwing a ball around, walking around, and throwing out a million ideas, big ideas.
huge ideas,
Never small.
and then one of them usually sticks.
If we have enough time that week to actually do something, yeah.
Speaking, Kostas just wants to throw off the whole fucking feng shui of everything and wants to leave for like a month. So why don't
Listen, if Chase gets to leave for a week, I get to leave for a week too, you know?
Well, the place almost burned down without you here for
I
a week.
bet.
Kostas is over here shorting out the damn fridge. I'm having to clean.
You need the handiest guy you know to
Well,
be
that's what
here,
I'm
for
saying.
sure.
I was like, we need one guy that knows about what a drill does,
Yeah, because that's not us.
Brady calls me and he's like, "Hey, like I think the maintenance guy's got to flip a fuse." And I'm like, "Nope, you can do that. It's like one flip."
Well,
It's
no,
like
but I didn't. In my defense, I could flip the. I flipped the
You
damn
did flip
thing.
the thing. You
But
just need a
I
little bit of
didn't.
instruction.
I didn't know where it was,
Right.
and I didn't know that our apartment had it inside the apartment.
I
Which is-
put a maintenance request in.
No way.
Yeah, you did
I was
it.
like, yo, the outlet went out, the fridge is off, we need help ASAP.
Dude, it's funny because I remember my dad taught me, dude, when I was going to my first college apartment. And he's like, "You get in there, you find that fuse box." I was like, the first step. I get into my apartment, I knew it was right there instantly. The day we moved in, I knew it was there. I don't know why.
What a
You're just
guy.
so much better than us.
My
huh?
dad's actually not that handy though. I shouldn't slam him like that. But like, I'm like, "Dad, like what tools we got?" I look, there's a hammer in there.
That's great.
Yeah, but you know,
Where are you actually going?
right.
So tomorrow morning, I'm headed to Orlando to shoot EDC again with Loud Luxury, which I'm really excited about.
Big EDC guy.
Yeah, big EDC guy. Then I come home Saturday morning. I leave Saturday morning, come back Sunday morning. Sunday night, I head out on a red eye to go to Nicaragua for a week on a surf trip with 7 of my buddies from college, which I'm very excited about.
Are the waves small there?
No, they're not. So I said I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous.
It's probably a good thing that they have like trained lifeguards.
Do
in
they?
Nicaragua.
I don't
no
think they
chance
do.
they have
I don't
trained
think they
lifeguards
do.
out
Are
there.
you going to get pitted?
I'm really hoping I get my first ever barrel.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. I can catch a wave, right? I know how to surf.
You look the part for sure, right?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets
got
on me
the-
like
Yeah. I can ride a wave.
he like
Yeah.
Yeah.
once, dude, you caught this wave and I was right behind you and he like carved it and I was like, Coasters might be cooler than I. Like,
Well, that's a given.
I was like, that was sick, dog.
So going, the waves are like 4 to 6 feet, maybe 7, and they're barreling. And I'm like, listen, give me like 2 to 3 feet and I'm good. There's often times when the waves are really big and it's pretty scary out there.
Yeah.
But as an excuse to if the waves are a little big, I'm bringing my camera stuff.
Brilliant.
Smart.
And so like maybe if I'm a little sore, because it's 7 days straight of surfing, maybe
Yeah.
like 2 sessions a
Right.
day. So I kind of have the excuse of like, hey guys, you go out there, I'm gonna get some shots of you guys.
Wait, is that a long lens that you're gonna bring to make?
Yeah. So I actually have to pick that up today. I just remembered that.
That's
Okay.
great.
Thanks for reminding me.
Okay.
I rented a 100 to 400
Nice.
mil lens,
Fun
which I've
lens.
never used before, and I'm really excited. I've never even shot surfing before.
Dude, it's sick because sometimes like renting something new that you haven't used before, it's like, oh, I can shoot it like this now. It
Yeah.
like gets you like stoked to like make stuff again. You know what I mean?
Renting fun shit is always a good time.
It's a good idea,
Yeah.
especially if you just burn like $50 in a day and get something just new. Even it doesn't have to be like a whole new camera, but like a little something, like a long ass
Yeah.
lens. You can get shots with that you could never get otherwise, and then you get a little spark. You know?
Yeah, and then maybe even you buy it eventually if you like it enough.
Yeah, I'm also obviously going to surf, but I'm also really excited. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've been working on is client work and maybe not the most like enjoyable stuff. And anytime I feel like you can kind of get away for a little bit, go on a trip, shoot something new, it kind of always sparks inspiration for me. So I'm really excited about
Yeah,
that.
dude. I mean, we talked about that before where it's like once we all like started making videos, like we all started making videos for fun, right? Like you were making fitness stuff and it's just like exciting. I was making like whatever skateboard videos and like you were doing the same. And then once you introduce money into it, a lot of the time it ruins the creativity because you're like, oh, like I gotta like make this video for this accountant and like that's not fun. And then you start to like you do make a lot of those because you need to pay rent. It just starts to become really not fucking exciting and you takes away like your creativity a lot of time. Going on trips like that though, it's like you got to make stuff for you too, and then you can kind of get out of that.
Yeah, you kind of got to do one for them, one for you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Like
And-
Vinny Chase, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do Aquaman, but I'm gonna do Queens Boulevard too. you know?
Bang.
I am Queens Boulevard,
Exactly.
baby.
I think the whole thing too is like you gotta find because someone DM'd me the other day and they're like, "Yo, I don't think I have like passion for this," and I called him and I was like, "Yo, if you don't have the passion, you probably should change now.
it.
You should probably change it because it's only going to add."
It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have the passion for it, because like, okay, I remember when I was starting, someone asked me that question. I was like, I just love making videos. He's like, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay. You just because I was lost, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. And he's like, why are you doing it? I'm like, I just love this weird shit, man. I
Right.
love like the process of making it, editing it. And he's like, you're gonna be okay, man. You just gotta stick on the path. You'll figure it out.
I always say I'm like zero from holes when people are like in like big
you
like,
always say that.
big group meetings. Always say that. No, but I actually do say it in like meetings. People are like, what do you like to do outside of work? Like Outbreakers. I'm like,
Dig.
I just make videos, dog. And
I
they're
just
like,
like
they're
to
like,
dig holes.
they're like, literally like when we finish work, then we're like, okay, let's go fly the drones. You know, like I literally like I'm great at my job because I like just want to do it. And like when I'm not doing it, I'm like, I could be making videos right now, you know. And like if you don't have that, it's only gonna get harder and harder and harder because like the more money and like boring stuff that are introduced to you that you kind of have to say yes to at first, just ruins it, man.
And that's the thing with the creative space is it's like gotta pay your dues a little bit.
Yeah.
And
You have to.
In the beginning, like I was, we were just thinking about all the stuff we've done like before this podcast, and I've done so many videos for people that I didn't want to do, but they allowed me to invest in all my fun gear. Like I invested in way nicer stuff from the
Right.
shitty videos that I
Right.
didn't want to do. And I also met people that allowed me to make other videos, and those videos might have been cooler than the ones that I was doing.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think it's important to realize that in any job, you're never gonna get in and be the top dog,
Right.
And unless your dad's,
right.
unless your dad's like owns
Right.
it or
Joe
whatever,
Schmo,
you
yeah.
know.
Or
So
the top Joe Schmo.
the top Joe Schmo, exactly,
rock, yeah.
the biggest rock in all the land. So I think it's important to realize like, okay, because during the process of the beginning phases of being a creative in any aspect of it, I feel like you might think that it's just going to be 0 to hero, and it's not the case. It's going to be
never like
it's
that.
going to be like eating some shit, learning the ropes, like networking with people, finding out what you want to do, doing your style. Like all those little tiny things take years.
And you almost have to do like a helicopter tour of like making a lot of different kinds of videos and stuff, because you don't know what you're going to love to do in the video space. There's so many things you could do. You know what I mean?
That applies to regular jobs too. And going out of college, had no idea what I was like, okay, I can make a good video.
They don't show you. They don't show you like what work is going to be like.
No, they
I
don't.
thought you were going into a Seinfeld impersonation right there.
What's the deal with college? They don't show you how to do this. They don't show you how to do that. You just drink and drink.
Pretty much.
Basically.
No, but like, son of a
I didn't know I
bitch.
had a Seinfeld impression.
Yeah,
Thank God,
that wasn't
dude.
bad. You pulled that out of your ass, huh?
No, but like cutting teeth, I remember when I got my first interview at an agency job, the guy literally said to me, he's like, look, man, this is like a great place to cut your teeth. This is a great place to like get your foot in the door in the industry, because it's like, it's not easy to do. And he was like, you're going to be editing like 12 hours a day, and it might not be the sickest stuff, but like, and then from that, I like got to edit cooler stuff. And then I was editing Nike commercials, which was dope. And then like recently, like I've since left that agency because I wanted to like shoot and direct, and they just wanted me to edit. Cool people though. But I met a lot of people through there that have now given us opportunities. It's like a production company, like, oh, like I'm at this new agency, we're looking for a production partner. We do stuff like that, which is great.
Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, and you never know which one of those small videos that you make in the beginning is going to lead. Because I can just think about things that I've told people to do. They're like, oh, should I do this like barber video? And I'm like, yeah, because then you could do videos for all 10 of the barbers there.
Right.
And then instead of $50, it's whatever.
Right.
And you also learn
You know?
if you enjoy making a video for a barber.
Yeah.
Right. Like you were talking about like
Exactly.
making videos for gyms. Then you were like, okay, I have this sick video of a gym. Now I can go to all the other gyms.
Yeah, when I was first starting out, one of like the first recurring clients that I got was making social media content and videos and photos for a gym. And that was cool because I'm like, I don't really work out all that much right now, but like in my heyday, dude, played sports and like to be athletic.
The kid was right.
You know?
He was
Yeah.
the best water boy in all the land.
Yeah, whatever, man.
That bench was warm, dog.
So yeah, made content for a gym, and then realized that I could hit up other gyms and make content for that. But then I realized like, you know, it was cool when I was first starting out, had consistent revenue coming in, but I was like, I want to be more creative than making content for a gym. So it's like, it was great because had the consistency, but also learned that like, hey, maybe making content for a gym isn't what I want to do long term.
But when you like, if you stuck to gyms, then it's kind of sucks, because then you can kind of only do like, you only have like gym examples. So you kind of like, you have to make the videos that you want to get paid for eventually too.
Absolutely.
So like if you like really want to make like, just say you want to make like car commercials or whatever, just like have your friends drive and like shoot the shit out of that car commercial, and then you can go to people and be like, this is what I have, like this is what I can make you.
That goes back to passion though too.
Totally.
If you're passionate about it, it won't feel so much like
it's
work.
it's fun shooting
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
dude.
It'll be a blast.
So if you're in the position where, let's say during the week you're doing most of the stuff for shooting a gym and you're not really enjoying it,
Sure, but you
and
need to get paid.
Exactly, you doing the stuff that you need to get paid for. Spend the weekends or the time that you're not shooting the gym, and you know, either grab some friends or go out alone, whatever it may be, and like go make the stuff that you are passionate about. Because once you
Right.
have that work, you can leverage it and turn what you're actually passionate about making into what you're doing for money.
And that's kind of what honestly it takes, I feel like, to break into this. Like, you don't just get to work 9 to 5 on during the weekdays and then stop working in the night, and then on weekends, like you're probably not just gonna like drink and watch football all weekend. You know what I mean? Like so many times we're up to like fucking 2 like cutting podcast clips literally, or like making this podcast right now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
There's a lot of things you got to keep doing, and it's a sacrifice.
It is a sacrifice, and I think you have to write down those goals that you want to hit for yourself, because then I feel like, okay, when you're doing the late night shit, when I'm up at like 4 a.m, even not proud of that.
He stays being up at 4 in the morning.
I stay being up. Well, dude, because
Rock stays up
it's
late.
because
The Sleepy Rock.
Yeah, no, it's because though I feel like I have these goals that I've written on this board,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no one's gonna beat me at these goals, and I know that I'll give you an example. One of the goals, I want to be on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Okay,
Oh, come on,
but
let's go.
I do know that to get on that list, or like that's just one of said goals, right? To get
Right.
on that list requires output that is not of like a normal. It's not going to be 40 hours a week.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that like you have to look at the goal and then be like, am I actually putting in necessary work to do said thing?
Right.
And usually the answer is no. A lot of the times the answer is no, and it's like, okay, got to be real with myself. Got to be like, if I want this, it requires set output. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's just one of the little things I can think of that, you know.
That's
Absolutely.
great. Dude, I don't doubt that you're going to hit that.
That's
I see your
really
work
nice.
ethic, man. You're a beast.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever met
inspiring.
another person with crazier work ethic than Braden. Because me and Chase always talk about like, we like to work hard, but we like to chill a lot, you know? And Braden's like, I only like to work hard.
I realize I really like bursts. I will work so hard for 1 week, and then I'm like, and then I'm gonna take 2 days. And I'm gonna sit my ass in the sand with like some White Claws, and then I'll have another big shoot, and I'll like go really hard for again a couple weeks, and then I want to fuck off to like Canada or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Canada was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, Canada, you got.
I've been thinking about like going to Whistler lately.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
That's great.
Anyways,
But going off of traveling, right? That's like obviously one way that you can kind of re-spark that inspiration.
Yes.
You ready for Nicaragua? Like,
I'm ready, dude. Am
you
I
better shoot some cool stuff.
Oh, 100, I'm really excited.
I want a dope reel. I want a YouTube maybe? Is that asking too much?
You don't got time for that?
I don't know.
Is that asking too much for a 4-minute recap video of the trip?
I think if
Is it asking too much for a 4-minute recap video?
Brayden, I just want to chill, man. Okay.
I want a video on YouTube from you.
I think if it comes, it'll come. I want to touch on what are different ways that you guys kind of spark inspiration when
you're in that
when you're
rut.
maybe feeling a little bit in a rut, not feeling quite inspired. Like, what are ways that you like, or what are things that you guys like to do to kind of re-spark that inspiration?
I mean, I'd say when I notice like I'm clearly in a rut, like I'm like, wow, I haven't made anything in a long time. Change of scenery is huge, as we touched on. Also, like trying to make something that you're not accustomed to making. So like right now I'm like just making car commercials basically, and then some other stuff. But it's like, okay, that's like very like high pace, whatever, like not like narratives, like cool banger shots, cool cuts. I'm like, a little bit ago, I was like, I'm just gonna make like a weird little narrative about like my room, right? Because like I have like a light switch that like turns off all the outlets in my room, drives me fucking nuts. It's like I'm gonna make like I wrote this whole thing out, and I chose the music and like kind of scored it up and like wrote it and like filmed it in a way different way than I've filmed anything. It was all locked off. And you know, I like camera movement, dog. I stay moving that camera.
Big camera moving guy.
But I'm like, I'm going to lock everything off, and it's just going to be like me in my room, and I'm going to do voiceover too. And that's the first time I talked into this mic, actually. Look at us now.
And the video went big viral.
Which is funny because I was like, yo, I'm going to make this weird video because I'm sick of trying to make videos that go big on social. And then I was like sick, and then all of a sudden I like looked at my phone, and I was like, that can't be right. And then I went dummy viral.
You've stayed getting millions.
Yeah, and I like haven't really posted since, but like whatever.
Yeah,
At
like
least
one
I know
hit,
that
like,
I could do it.
like one hit wonder, but hey, you know.
Yeah. I'm semisonic with closing time for sure.
That's funny. I mean, like the inspiration thing is interesting because I feel like it can hit you at random times.
100%.
And for me, I make basketball videos every day. You know, so I need to make other shit. Otherwise, the basketball videos will all look the same.
Yeah.
And I really, you know, I don't want them to all look the same. And I feel like when I look at the Lakers shit that I make for them, I look at it, I'm like, I'm trying, I see it evolve. Like the works evolve. Like I remember last year I did they had me make a hype video for LeBron or something. And then I was like, okay, fuck the hype track. Let's go classical music because his play is so beautiful. Like it's just gorgeous.
I like that.
It's gorgeous in slow motion. So I was like, let's try classical music. And then someone was like, if you would have told me in the beginning that you were going to use classical music, I wouldn't have worked. But you did it. And then it was like, oh.
Dude, I had told you I use that for that Genesis thing, which is funny because the opposite of what you just said. They always use, it's like very elegant brand, and they always use classical music like
trap
in their
action.
reels.
Yeah.
And I just put in Mac 10 by Trippie Redd instead of this thing I shot. And then the executive creator, I didn't send it to the person right above me because I knew she'd be like, what'd you do? Send it to the person above her, and he was like, I would have never thought to do this, but I like it. And then we like use that as a reference, and like now we like do a lot more stuff like that going off that.
That's great. Going off of your change of scenery, you know, when it comes to change of scenery, it's great if you can take a week-long trip to Nicaragua, but it doesn't need to be that crazy.
Right.
You like to just go walk around our neighborhood with your red. Right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes just walking around your neighborhood or just getting out of your daily routine in general allows you to kind of see the space that you're in a little bit differently and might spark some creativity.
It can also almost be, I mean, not to like totally like change what we just said, but like sometimes it's really creatively inspiring to like, I'm going to make a video about the space that I am stuck in all the time. And that's when
That's
you like
great.
are really fucking creating. I feel
Yeah,
like, you know?
you're like almost going to the brink of like craziness almost.
Yeah, you
know?
gotta.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
You can find I know you can find the inspo from literally the most. I stare at that little fish tank
Yeah,
for
you
like
do.
hours. And
I mean, I get it.
No, I know, and I'll just write. I'll put in a little Kid Cudi action, and I'll just start writing on my little whiteboard desk at like 2 a.m, and I'll just start getting the coolest ideas from just letting my mind wander, letting it just run. And that's why I think the journal for my process or the writing, I hate writing. Like in college, I hated writing. I got a C- in the entry level writing class, which is great.
Hey, that's a pass, baby.
No, that's
that's
a pass.
all we're out here
Maybe
for.
it was a flat C. Anyways,
Oh, now you just bragging.
yeah, there is a flat C. Whatever. But I didn't like writing in college, and then I figured out that such an integrated part of my process now is writing down everything in my
you love
noggin,
it.
and then you can kind of begin to branch and be like, okay, this is how this is gonna flow. This is how this is gonna make sense.
Isn't that funny how in school you hate reading, you hate writing, you hate doing that,
Well,
like learning kind
hated
of.
Well,
reading,
bro,
dude.
it's the same thing that we just started the podcast with. It's because other people are telling you to do it.
Exactly.
And that's why client work, it's like makes you kind of not like videos that much because it just sucks when other people tell you to do it. Now I read books all the time, dude. I never read in school, dude. Never. It's the same thing. You just like you want to choose to do stuff.
I still don't even know how to read, so I'm just
Right.
trying
Coast
to
is
get
an
better
audiobook
at that.
Trying to learn that
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
Big
I
audiobook.
I'm an audiobook kind of guy, and then I follow along on the pages and I highlight and I pretend like I know what the words are.
The other day, I described my friend as a basement kid. I was like, "You're a basement kid growing up, weren't you?" He didn't like that.
Dude, I think when like you could also get inspo from just watching but like the doc. We talked about this
Yeah.
on the last pod,
Yeah.
Kid Cudi doc, just like watching new. Oh, I can think of a great story for this. My boss at Oregon, he loved all of the like comic books and stuff
Sure.
like that, right?
D&D.
And he told me that he's like, a lot of the graphics that I make for the Oregon Ducks are based off of comic book shit.
Right.
And I was like,
Oh.
okay, so you never would have thought that. And then he would show me like something from Spider-Man that he watched like way back in the day, and I'm like, this is insane that you're grabbing all this crazy shit from Spider-Man and putting it into the Ducks, and no one has any idea about it. Nobody knows about it.
I always think it's so interesting when people take inspiration from other mediums and then create in their medium with
and
it.
that's why I think his shit was so unique and so cool, is because it was like, damn, bro, I don't watch Spider-Man, I don't watch Marvel, I know nothing about any of this world that you're about and you're
Right.
into, and that's why his shit was so unique and so cool, is because it was literally, he had all of his it's like Van Neistat. Van didn't watch YouTube or whatever, so when
Right.
you see his shit, it's all weird and like cool. It's awesome.
But so there is like a happy medium there because you can watch a lot of people's stuff and get inspiration, like, oh, that's a cool way to shoot that thing. But then you also don't just want to be copying someone else's style. You need to find a way to like take cool stuff that you were inspired by and like work on that, but then also like, you know, not watch it. I know like a lot of comedians don't watch other people's stuff. They just like never watch another set because they're like, I don't want to be inspired on accident.
I think the way you can steal and always be good with it is if you never take more than 2 things from the person that you're watching.
Oh, I like that.
That's what the boss told me back in the day.
I like that.
Yeah, so like when we were trying to learn and trying to make a ton of videos, he'd be like, just never try and take more than 1 or 2 things. And he's like, and then you should never ever take their integrity away from the piece that you watched. And I was like, I dig it. I've stuck with that.
Going off of like getting inspired by other mediums, I've definitely done this when I'm like, I'll listen to like an album. Like if you're just in a rut, like I've listened to an album just all the way through and being like, that song makes me feel like this. Like maybe like inspired to go somewhere or like kind of melancholy but beautiful. And then like you take that feeling, like I want to create that feeling in a video. You know what I mean? And you don't even have to use the song like as the track in the video, but just like I'm like, that makes me feel this way. I'm gonna make a video that makes the viewer feel that way. That's another way to like, look at other stuff too.
It's crazy how much music
Yeah.
can inspire
yeah.
you.
You hear a bitchin' song, the Kanye song, the latest one, Undone, that's like, let her rock. Oh yeah, that one gets me going, dude. When I listened to that, I was like, holy shit, gotta make a video right now.
Right. Yeah, because you're like, oh, I want to make a video to that song. I remember like when Big Wild was like really kicking back in the day for me. Like that inspired like my whole Norway vlogs, dude. I'm just like, someone showed me Big Wild. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make videos all the time.
They kind of resonate with you. That's the coolest part though, is every person that hears, like, say someone else hears Big Wild, they're gonna make something totally different than
Right.
you.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part about
or just like choosing a different style of song or whatever.
for sure.
I was listening to Donda last night, and it's really aged well. It's a
Yeah.
great album.
He
Like
was.
at first, I was like, I don't know if I love it. I'm like, oh, the more you listen to it, it's a great album.
Were you wearing headphones?
No, I never wear headphones, dude.
And his wall is just like right next to mine. And like sometimes I like to go to bed, but it's all good. But He was on live last night, and I walk in. I was like, I don't know he's on live, right? I'm just a guy. I'm 26, right?
Well, there was a lot of people in my live.
Right, obviously. Like, probably like, yeah. I walk in,
like
I'm just
a
like
lot,
underwear
dude.
and like got my little blue light glasses, and I was like, hey man, like you turned it down a little bit, like just like a bitch, you know what I mean? But like I'm tired.
Oh,
and I get a
the
text.
Rock is tired.
I get a text from my cousin that was like, I just saw you on Coastus Live. I'm like, you haven't texted me in months. Why are you watching Coastus Live?
It's kind of rude.
Right, but it's all good. Oh god, it's so funny though. Do you have any other inspiration tips?
I think. Oh, okay. I like to go either hang out with an old friend or hang out with somebody new. I think you just never know where the conversation will go. You slid into someone's DMs, you're like, yo, you want to grab lunch or something like that? We're in the same space, like kind of get, just bounce ideas off each other. I think that, and when I meet new people, I try and be just as like open and honest with them as I can.
Especially if they're like above you in a way, like acknowledge that they are. Like the best advice I ever got going into college when my brother was like, yeah, you're going to be a freshman. Know you're a freshman. Like, don't try to pretend like you're someone that you're not. It's like when you're like talking to like a big director or whatever, don't be like, oh yeah, like I make like pretty sick stuff too. Like just be like, hey, like I don't know how to use that camera, or like I don't know how you did that. Would you tell me? And that seems to resonate really well with people.
And I think it's super annoying when you meet someone. This happened the other day. I met someone. I'm not going to say where I met this person.
Say their name, dude.
No, I met this person and they were just, when people think they're way doper than they are, it's the most annoying shit in the world. I think that.
Big thing in LA.
Yeah. When you meet, oh my God, it's annoying. Which
is funny because we actually got that comment about how we think we're special.
when you meet, that's unbelievable. When you meet someone, even if, dude, I'm gonna tell one more story.
Yeah, no,
I met this guy at a party one time, and he was a famous skateboarder. He was like a pro skater. I was like, oh, like, do you? I had no idea what this person did, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, this person is just like, oh, he skates. I go, oh, you skate? That's awesome. He goes, I don't really know how to answer that. I'm like, you are such a flying piece of shit for like saying that.
Right.
Like what?
And like. Yeah, dude. Like when people,
obviously, just say that. I'm a professional skateboarder. I'd be like, oh, that's insane.
Cool.
That's dope. Like, where, what's your next competition?
Don't seem like you're better than anyone else.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm like, because when you're not,
right?
I don't give a shit if you're a skateboarder and you're famous. Who cares? Right.
Coastus can kickflip, dude.
Yeah,
he's not bragging to everyone about
exactly.
it.
I stay kickflipping. Dude.
Exactly. Just a weird, just like I don't know. I feel like people need more. Less ego, man.
Yeah. And approach networking with less ego. Be like bare bones. Like, look, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm better than you. I don't actually know how you do any of those things. Could you tell me?
Yeah.
And like, then it's a lot easier to come to someone when they're not trying to like seem like they're on the same level as you if they're not. Also, I feel like if you actually are sick as fuck, like Brad Pitt, he's not telling people like, like you wouldn't believe what I do, dude.
No chance.
He's like, yeah. I like have acted in a couple movies. It's probably what he says. I don't know. I haven't met him, but like, if you're actually the man, like if you're Brad Pitt, you don't need to pretend to be the man.
I will say though, I did see Brad Pitt.
I love Brad Pitt, dude.
I did see Brad Pitt one time.
Son of a bitch.
In Playa Vista.
Really?
Yeah, and his license plate said B Pitt on his fucking car. I swear to God.
Do you think it was someone that just looks like Brad Pitt that
No.
Brad Pitt?
He was wearing a hat, had a little bit long hair. I was also wearing a hat, and I pulled up like next to him. I was like, I saw his license plate. It says B Pitt.
So
pulled up
funny.
next to him. I go, is that really him? I look over, and I'm like, oh, that's Brad Pitt.
That's B Pitt.
And then he gave me a little nod, and he gave me a nod, and he's like, yeah, we're both wearing hats. We're sick.
I wonder, dude, if he's like on a movie and they give them cars with like their
no chance. His mom probably got it made for him. That's
I bet
awesome.
his mom did. You're right.
Yeah,
Mama
like,
Pitt.
Yep.
People forget about Mama Pitt.
She was like, check out this rock I got you.
Right. Once Brayden texted me, my brother's visiting. He's like, show Spencer the rock. And I instantly knew he wanted me to show him his fish tank. So good, dude.
Oh my God. That's so
But yeah, networking is really important in this. But yeah, you got to do it right, man.
Yeah, don't leave the ego at the door. Be nice to people. Ask good questions. I think that's the easiest way to network. And it's great because you can do it in the DMs now. It's never been easier to network with people.
But don't DM wrong.
No, yeah, DMing wrong's annoying, man. Don't ask for shit right off the bat. Don't ask for stuff on the first interaction.
No.
Unless you're coming from my TikTok and I tell you specifically to DM me on IG with any questions, then you go ahead and ask a question.
You can ask a question, but don't ask like, hey, like...
This is a great example of something that's awful. Someone sent me a DM that was like, can you just tell me your whole creative process? I'm like...
You can watch my course.
Eat shit, man. Like what? Can you tell me every secret you've ever known? I'm like, dude,
no.
What?
Right.
Like, come on, man. Come up with a better interaction than the first one.
It's been tried and tested. voice messages on the cold DM works better than just sending text. Because
I've heard that before,
sparks
too.
curiosity, bro.
A voice
'Cause you're
message?
like,
Yeah.
what did they say to me?
See, I don't like
And
the
you
voice
gotta
message.
listen.
Interesting.
You don't like it.
I
'cause
hate it.
If I can just read it, I'm like, oh, that's nice, and I'll hit I'll like it maybe, and then go home.
If someone starts sending me a ton of voice messages, I genuinely
don't send more than one.
I tell them to.
not send
I
more than
literally say, please don't do that. Like, please type it because I'm not gonna listen to it. I don't know why. It just freaks me out.
Do
when
you
I see
send
it.
voice messages? Okay, this is a tangent, but like I love sending voice messages.
No, I send.
on text
I send the video DMs back if I get a nice message. Like, I'll send you a video back.
Wow,
And be like, what's
that's
up?
really thoughtful, dude.
You know, what's up? But I don't hate the fucking voice message thing.
I like it.
Really?
I think it's fun.
Chloe sends them to me, and I'm
Chloe
like, what?
loves the voice.
Yeah, I'm like,
message,
what are you
dude.
doing, dude?
Here's the
Like,
thing, though.
I could read the message in 10 seconds. I have to listen to it for a minute.
No.
There's
Yes.
there's a fine line though between like, hey, it's a 10-second one, and then you're sending me 3-minute-and-a-half ones. So I'm like, I don't want to listen to this.
That's too much.
Yeah.
But I put my headphones in and I just crush my audio messages for the day that I've done. I love the. Also, like
Really?
I do the voices. Like if I'm gonna tell my friend a story, like Larry came up to me at the store and he was like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna text that because I'm gonna be like." I was at the store and fucking, hey, there's Larry, you know.
Oh,
like,
okay, maybe I'll
way
have
more
to
fun.
maybe I'll have to integrate this into the.
Oh,
into
the Rock's a little
it is
stand-up
big.
comedian over
Interesting.
here.
I don't know.
Huh?
It's kind of interesting. I just like I don't know. I'm scared of them.
Last thing to wrap this up, inspiration. Sometimes you're not feeling like you're working, like you don't feel like working. Not necessarily creative inspiration.
I like that.
Sometimes, dude, you just want like an Amy Leon Dior sweatshirt, medium, or like, or
Size
or,
doesn't fit.
or
Yeah.
or like
too small.
or like you just want something really cool, and it's like if I work really hard and make a lot of sick videos, like I'll really get some stuff that I really want.
You know what I call it?
Yeah.
Sampling the dream.
Ooh.
I like
Ooh, I
that.
like
I know.
that.
So Ed Milet,
Print it.
Ed
Put it on a
Milet
hoodie.
said that in a
Size
pod,
large.
and he was saying when he gets like when he was poorer, when he was like coming up or whatever,
Sure.
and he's like a billionaire or whatever.
Yeah,
This guy's
yeah,
worth
yeah.
a shit ton of money. But when he was like coming up, he would be like, okay, I just made like this amount of money on a deal, and he's like, I want to live this lifestyle or whatever. He would go get like not something outlandish, like wouldn't lease a car that was 200K or whatever, right? It was like something small that made sense. It was like, I'm gonna sample said thing, like say your hoodie or whatever that you really liked, you worked really hard for. He would get that thing, and then he'd be like, okay, like I'm sampling this lifestyle that I want to
See how
live.
I really
feels.
like that.
And then yeah, exactly. See how it feels. He'd like wake up and like manifest what it felt like to live said lifestyle. I do this sometimes,
Yeah.
but not to that extent. But like I'll try something and be like, ooh, like this is what it would be. Look, when I was in Vegas, I got a $200 massage.
Attaboy.
It was so great, and I was like, God, what if I got these like every week? And I walked in there in this damn robe, and they're like, Mr. Figueroa, your room is waiting. I was like, this would be legit.
because it reminds you that working hard can be worth it. But sometimes, like a really interesting point that my brother made, because he worked in tech, he made like a ton of money, but like just didn't have a lot of time, didn't really like it. And then since then, he like quit, and he just like has bought in a lot of crazy stuff. And he was like, I just want to make sure that like working hard and making a lot of money is actually worth it. He's like, I wanted to buy like an Airstream and a convertible and stuff because it's like I want to like make sure that like actually working that hard was worth it for me.
And what did he think?
He likes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out having fun toys is fun. Yeah.
That's funny. Sample the dream.
Sample the dream. I like that a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is where I think we're going to wrap up this episode of the 505 podcast. If you're still here, make sure to take a screenshot, lob it up on the story because it helps the boys out so much more than you know. And we need as many 5-star reviews as you can.
5-star.
Toss them up.
Lead comments on the podcast app. It's fun to read those.
It's fun. It's really fun.
I like those. I was reading them last night.
We'll give it.
Crowdsourcing myself.
Okay, we're gonna give a
It's kinda
shout.
sus.
Yeah, I know you can see mine's like the first one. on
Yeah,
there.
dude. It's like yours and mine. It's like we got to change.
Yeah,
it.
we
There's
got to
like
change
12
that.
of them. But
Give
for some
us
reason
give us
just
some
ours.
reviews. We'll give you a shout out on the next pod, and we'll see you guys all next week. Peace.
Peace.